Okay, cool. So, um, welcome to Divorce Diaries Show. So I'm going to do stand up on here every day for at least 10, 15 minutes because I want to get better at my stand up comedy. And I am a single mom working from home. And I can't go into New York City every day because my daughter is in school and I have to kind of stay close. And I could, but it's right now with COVID, I'm kind of doing things live virtually from home. So I am a single mom, which is why I never look like I've brushed my hair. And I don't know why that's like an attachment to being a single parent, but like you just don't have time. And I turned 40 in October. So it should be like, I turned 40. No, we were not like, I mean, yeah, I'm excited it's not 50, but like that's the only thing. That's like, I turned 40. Thank God it's not 50. You know, I think that if you're married with your three children and you have a picket fence and you have a pension or retirement account that you could retire today, yeah, sure, I've turned 40, but this is my picket fence. And it was coming down. That's why I had the pool ladder there. And that apartment complex can see into my window. So, whoop, whoop. They know all my business. Living a single mom life. Okay, so I'm trying to see how I can make. Oh, whoops! I did the wrong thing. Oh, there we go. Right. So let's just go into some jokes. And those were supposed to be jokes, but not really. Yesterday, I had somebody. Not yesterday. A couple weeks ago. I had somebody a week ago, had somebody say, "Hey, I know somebody, the Comedy Cellar." And they shared my video, and the person that they know, because I shouldn't have said that out loud, but the person that they know was like, "You think she's funny?" I just like want to go for the jugular when somebody says that. I'd be like, "Well, does your dick look funny?" Oh, that's not nice. I know. I'm not your typical school mom. All the school moms are like on juice cleanses. I'm on a vodka cleanse. Actually, I'm not anymore. I have never really got into vodka. Wine is my thing. Love wine. But I think I'm gonna. Is that fucking poop in my backyard? I don't have a dog. Ew, what is that? Great. Ew, what is that? I'm afraid to go out and look. Okay. I wrote a guy a letter. I'm a big letter person. Like if a guy, let's see if I don't see him trying to do this. Or it's not. How can I invite people? Can I invite people? Share followers. Okay. Oh, I have a lot of followers. I didn't know that. I'm a single mom, and my daughter was recently diagnosed with ADHD, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, or what I like to call my Tinder profile. I don't know, man. It's taken me 40 years to find like love, and I still haven't found it. It's like the worst game of hide and go seek. It's really it's really manhunt. Like that game's for real. When I was a kid and playing it, I thought that was like the best game ever. And now it's like, ugh, just go away. It's not even a manhunt anymore. It's like you're just looking for scraps because, sometimes when your period comes around, you're emotional and want somebody to snuggle with. Remember the toy My Buddy? It was the ugliest looking doll too. Like the ugliest. My buddy, my buddy, my buddy, my buddy. Wherever I go, he's gonna go. That is the most depressing toy. Think about it when you're an adult. I have a my buddy. I don't need a boyfriend. That's the kind of boyfriend you want. A my buddy, my buddy. He's always smiling. He lets you talk first. So I'm divorced, and my comedy show is about my post-divorce journey. But I try not to talk too much about my ex-husband because we have a daughter together. But sometimes he's like he knows how to get under your nails, like dirt that you can't get with one of those scrapers. That's how I would compare my ex-husband. Dirt under your nail. I didn't say he's dirt. I'm comparing him to the feeling of dirt under your nail. You just can't get it, right? When you're trying to communicate to him, he doesn't get it. I don't know if that's a good comparison. So the comedic, I guess the feedback that I got was that I'm not up to par with the other comics, right? So now I have to take this year to really get the fuck up to par because I'm 40 years old. So I left my teaching job full time. I was teaching full time to go back to acting and comedy, and specifically comedy because I went into stand up a couple years ago, and I was like, this is my way back in. I love stand up; it's a lot of fun. Um, and I was an actor. I studied it. I went to college for it. Theater, musical theater. I'm going to be an actor forever. And then I met my ex-husband, and I was like, or I could have a family and live happily after. Whatever the fuck that means. Why do we think that's our happily ever after, too, by the way? Because Cinderella did it. Cinderella also left her fucking abusive stepmother for a prince who came and looked for her. I don't know. It's so funny because usually if you leave before midnight, a guy won't come back to look for you unless he wants to bone you. And then, all right, I'm out. Maybe that's what happened. Maybe this. And in some of those fairy tales, like Cinderella's family goes with her. I'm like, bitch, bye. You wanted me to clean your floors? No. I wouldn't even want them as a hired help because they're so. So this year is about getting my comedy back up to par. And what I'm going to do in that time frame is come on here every day and do at least 10 to 15 minutes. Right now, I'm kind of just talking and working through jokes, but and then listen to it and then transcribe any jokes that seem funny. Or my computer's charging. So my daughter's back to school. The winter break is like winter break is one of the most depressive times of year because it's so exciting and it's such a letdown when it's over. You grab onto anything that's going to get you through that first day back. You're like, I can live. I know I can live. People are just like, it's national. And the thing is, I celebrate my divorce. And the first day back of winter break is National Divorce Day, or it's supposed to be tomorrow or Wednesday. It's the whole month of January is everyone got through the holidays. Now I want to fucking divorce you. That's what it is. So really January should be the month to celebrate because it's like, I'm done with you. Well, let's see. I'm simulcasting. Okay, here we go. So I'll just tell you a little story since I'm kind of just doing stories right now, not telling jokes. Everybody seemed to find love during the pandemic. I didn't even find a better vibrator. I still have the same vibrator for 5 years that I received from a friend when I broke up with this guy that I thought I was in love with. Still hope. This guy that I thought I was in love with too, by the way, he's this big, husky, thick, Puerto Rican, sexy cop. And he was introduced to me by our mutual friends. You know, when you get set up by friends, you think this is a safe zone because they know you, they know the other guy. They're not going to try to sabotage your mental health for the next 6 months, or so you think. And I just trusted them. And then he just kept saying he's a great guy, he's loyal. So in the back of my head, anytime he did something shady, but they said he's loyal, so it's got to be true. It's like when your parents said that Santa Claus was real. Why didn't I learn then? So I trusted this, but it took 6 months. And 6 months went by, and the guy still hadn't called me his girlfriend. I just was holding on to the thread that he's loyal. Everybody else was like, but he's not interested. Kept canceling on me. He just posted on Instagram too a picture of him and his mom, and he's legit carrying his mom like you'd carry your girlfriend. It's weird. Not carrying her oh, my mom. No, this is my mom. And I'm like, okay. I don't know what's sicker, the fact that he's posting that picture and also he's texting me at the same time. So should I be happy, confused, not surprised? I don't know. So I met this guy through Instagram. He actually met me. I like to always start with the fact that he found me. He has a divorce podcast. Do his accent every time. I have a thing for Latin guys, big, burly, thick Latin guys. There's something about their accent that just kind of like hypnotizes me. All of a sudden, I've sworn off men, and the second they open their mouth, Michelle, what you're doing for the divorce community. I don't care what you say after that. Yes, I do. I will wash your toes. What? Like, what is that? Wash your toes. I'll do anything that they ask. And yeah, I just was like super, like, I heard his voice. He contacted me through Instagram. He's like, I have this divorce podcast. I want to interview you. And I think you're doing amazing things. And so I was like, okay. And then he was like, yeah, I'm also in the film industry. And I was filming my pilot at the time, Divorce Diaries TV pilot. And he's like, all right, well, I have done some stuff. And usually when guys say that they've done some stuff, it's like some sort of like, you know, their subscribers on OnlyFans or something. So I looked him up on IMDb and he actually has legitimately done things. So I was like, all right. So I, contacted him, whatever. And then he interviews me for the podcast. It goes really well. And so like, this was the first setup. Like nobody's on here, so I'm just going to do this. So the first setup with him was just like, Michelle, you're beautiful. You're amazing. You're so smart. I can't believe men would treat you that way. And I'm like, I know. And then we continue talking. He'd call me and I would call him and we'd get advice from each other. Like he'd ask me advice on like TikTok. How do you do those high kicks? Like, oh my gosh, I can do all those things at once. And then I'd ask him about filmmaking and I'd be like, I don't understand how you get money to feature a film. He's like, Michelle, it's a process. You have to trust the process. I was like, I'm trusting it. Especially because we're talking for 2 hours at a night. And then it started to set in that like, I was like, well, maybe he has feelings for me. He's calling me. Like I kind of connecting with this guy. And he lives in LA and I live in Jersey. And so there's a, red flag. I'm sick of fucking the red flag shit. Let's call it something else at this point. Let's just say, red heart. Because like red is a symbolization is a symbol of love, right? So why are we calling it a red flag? Like, why don't we just say it's a dark cloud? Anyway, so then like he goes, then I finally get the courage to like say, hey, I think that there's something here. Like he gives me, okay, so wait, before I tell him, he gives me advice on my pilot. And I'm like writing notes by like the candlelight because it's like 3:00 in the morning and he calls me at like midnight and he's like, are you up? I'm like, of course I'm up. Like I'm literally legitimately sleeping for hours and like the phone rings. I'm like, hey, how are you? What's going on? Just got to sleep. And he's giving me notes and I'm like by the little light because my daughter keeps waking up too. And I'm like, shh, mommy's talking to her future husband, our future father figure in our life, like stupid shit like that. And so he's giving me notes on the pitch deck and the pilot. And all of a sudden I say something to him about like, because he says like something about friendship, about us being friends and how we're going to be like Golden Girl friends, which means like we're going to be friends forever. And I was like, oh, you keep friend zoning me. And he's like, what? It's like, you keep friend zoning me. And then I was like, oh, I don't know if you wanted me to say anything. And then, Michelle, you keep friend zoning me. Or no, I said, I was like, you keep friend zoning me. He's like, what do you mean? You think of me more than a friend? And then I was like, oh shit. So then I got off the phone. Because I was like nervous. I was like, well, is he like surprised by that? Is he intrigued? Is he like, I never thought of her that way, but I did, but I like her. So then like he doesn't bring it up again. And then, no, he brings it up again and he's like, I thought that was an amazing thing that you said because I haven't felt attractive since my ex-wife left me. Or she didn't want to be with him anymore, something like that. And I was waiting for him to say, and I really like you too. And he just was like, and anyway. What? Like who says like, oh, thank you for making me feel attractive again. So what did you have for lunch? I had rice and beans and salmon smoked with vegetables. What? Who does that? That's what he did. So then I brought it up. Like, I can't let shit go, and it just bothers me, and it sits in my stomach like it's like a bad, bad hot dog you had at the fucking New York City stand. Like, I have to say something. Stupid Michelle. And so I say something. So first of all, maybe I go into like letting it go. Everyone's like, Michelle, you need to let it go. As a divorced mom in her 40s, I don't want to let shit go anymore. I'm tired of it. The ex-husband barely pays enough for me to. I shouldn't even say he barely pays enough. I have to swallow a lot, and I'm not a swallower unless I really care about you. Um, so sometimes when you have to swallow a lot, it starts to get a little bit of GERD here, and the GERD is right where the Italian temper hits, and it keeps pushing up against this. So I can't help what comes out of my mouth. Oh, I called you a name that you don't really appreciate, like Mayor of Munchkinland, but I'm so sorry. Listen, the Mayor of Munchkinland had a really good IMDb credit from that show, from that film. So you should look at it as a compliment. All right, I'm going to pop off and listen to this and see if there's anything that I can kind of transcribe into my set. And I'll be back on tomorrow for 10 to 15 minutes. I hope you guys tune in. And January 16th is my next show, Divorce Diaries, one woman comedy show, improv.